when you are a photographer or a cinematographer, ఒక మూమెంట్ ఉంటుంది నీ లైఫ్ లో, ఇప్పుడు అంటే ఆ కెమెరా నా చేతికి వస్తే నేను చింపేస్తా or something like that. It was that wow moment which when you held that camera and you were like blown away.
College lo navi because we were all like fantasizing about large format. Large format ante oh my god అనుకున్నాం కానీ but see it has camera ఒక పాయింట్ తర్వాత I mean it is 100% essential,
right?
Okay, because because a certain camera has a certain pro advantages that it has that it gets to the film, and that's the reason why you need a certain camera. But my point is we all most of them generally take it as an advantage and try to understand like okay kaadu idu untene cheyochu ante if it is really that necessary, great. Okay. But most of the times it is not like that, because not every scene that you're doing is like an interstellar scale film.
Correct.
Right? Not every shot that you're doing where you're pushing boundaries in every single shot.
Right.
You're not. Right. See, if you have two people sit in a bus stand and have a conversation, you can still get a good frame with a red camera. You can still get a good frame with Alexa, anything like that. So after a point, camera is basically it limits yourself.
Yeah, I think a flat line వచ్చేస్తాం. It doesn't like probably increase the
until and unless say if you're shooting night exteriors,
right.
you need your camera which has like very good sensitivity,
right.
Like Venice has this dual sensors and things like that.
Correct.
So atla if the scene really needs it, then great. Okay, so what happens is, see, when story cheptunappudu, when you are listening to the story itself, you start imagining what is the world, what kind of scenarios you'll be shooting in, what kind of what quality of light that you'll be shooting in. So basic understanding vachinappude, then taking a choice for the camera also decides from there. So I'm not very fascinated about cameras in the sense ఇది ఉంటేనే సినిమా చేస్తా అన్నట్టు కాదు, until unless the situation really demands that. Because there's one project that I'm doing where akkada most of them we end up shooting in night exteriors and things like that, so we had to have Venice. So we're shooting on Venice. Darling, I shot on Raptor.
Okay.
I'm very happy with the Raptor. Red is like a very go-to camera for me. Very easy camera to shoot in.
Correct.
Similarly, S35 is also a great camera. So atla, see, cameras are consistently evolving. I mean, definitely they push your quality of image better. There is no doubt about it. But again, you don't need the highest end of technology all the time. You need it to a certain extent.
Correct.
But not all the time.
So has to get the job done.
Yeah. So అందుకే ఒక పాయింట్ అయితే నేను కెమెరాస్ పైన ఎక్కువ ఫ్యాసినేషన్ తగ్గిపోయింది. More or less like more obsessed about lighting.
Yeah, probably.
Because end of the day, the look of your film comes through
lighting.
And the way what you're trying to, because with camera you can move the camera. To deliver a certain emotion, or you can not move the camera to deliver a certain emotion. But lighting can drastically change everything.
Correct. Right.
See, so when we're talking about Darling also, I could have shot Darling in a very, very realistic way, very handled-ish.
Right.
I could have completely shot like that.
Correct.
But I thought that was not probably the right approach for that film.
Correct.
Because I told very Disney-ish was the approach that I thought of, very saturated images, and camera should also kind of like, because it randomly quickly moves and comes out and all of those things. So that has to feel robotic. That movement has to feel robotic. It cannot just feel like a handheld camera is just running and coming back.
Especially when all those characters are in the bathroom.
So that we shot on a FlexBot. So we so that was crazy experience that we had. And so FlexBot etla ante I think I actually wrote like a very big essay.
And nowadays chala vaartunnar FlexBot. I have seen like increasingly used in the
correct. People are using it because the camera moves so fast, then use cases are also pretty much like action sequences or like a song sequence. So but when Darling was happening, I thought, okay, let's use it for a conversation sequence.
That is interesting. Like means also either action ki like Vikram or else I think Garmi song lo kuda untundi, they use the flex bot.
Yeah.
So
even Pushpa also they use it
Pushpa
for
also.
song.
Yeah.
Ade song ki daniki dinki vaadtaru
For a conversation like.
Yeah, then but conversation, why it was challenging is because we had to time it.
Right.
Because she has to tell the same dialogue in 5 different costumes.
Correct.
Again and again.
Yeah.
And just at the moment she finishes the dialogue, the camera has to start moving. Okay, so we had to exactly time when till the point she actually finishes the dialogue, and then the camera moves. And it is not like we are operating the camera.
It's pre-programmed.
It's pre-programmed.
Yes.
So atla munde dani second to second dani time chesi, like we had to move the camera again and again and again. That was a great experience.
That's just filmmaking is magic.
Blowing my mind like oka sentence or inko sentence.
Then Sala like he's a big geek like itla into the technicalities and all.
Nice.
So ఏమైతుందంటే even if generally audience and they like the story itla అదంతా he's fascinated with all the technical aspects. దానిలో సినిమా మస్తుందిరా క్రేజీ అరే ఓకే రా ఇట్స్ ఓకే ఇట్లా హైప్ అప్ అవ్వక.
Yeah. I'm also like that. I mean, I'm also very technical. I'm very obsessed with the technicalities of the film.
Right.
See, people, even Pittagoda, the second part which came out, I was very obsessed with the way how that
వాటర్ ఎలా ట్రీట్ చేస్తారు.
There's a shot which comes out of the water to
So real time.
So where he ties that thing, and that small spark, like small dots of water also, which keeps spilling. So I was very obsessed with it. This is another level of filmmaking, bro. Because you take the camera, see the refraction inside the water is very different. When you get it out to air, it's very different.
Correct.
Space.
Yes.
So when the shots they do it from in and out, and it is not again a real time shot. Again it has to be processed, and the water has to feel very different.
Correct.
Again they put all these small balls inside. So it's like నాకు ఒక point there. Okay, I mean, see, whenever you watch the film for the first time, you generally enjoy the emotion of it and all of those things only. But these are things that you cannot help but notice.
Correct.
When you're rewatching, especially as
Yeah. Even the first time you saw pura itla chesnara asalu I was mind blown.
Amazing asalu.
steering this to a very radical అంటే different
space.
So ఏంటంటే is it always the DP versus editor versus production design అదే ఎక్కడన్నా కట్ చేస్తే మీకు ఇక్కడ
అంటే అదే నేను ఐ థింక్ ఐఎమ్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ కొంచెం సెయింట్ ఫీల్కి వచ్చేసినట్టు నా అనిపిస్తుంది అప్పుడప్పుడు నాకు. ఇంకా ఒక పాయింట్ తర్వాత జస్ట్ లైక్ ఐ డోంట్ లైక్ I would definitely not want my editor to come and tell me that bro no ఒక లైట్ పెట్టాల్సింది. Okay, I would not appreciate that, obviously, right? So at the same time I should also not kind of like put my nose around in whatever that he is doing, which he thinks is right. And I also generally believe that like editor, he's the guy who kind of objectively looks at whatever that you have done. Because for him, especially this darling also Pradeep, is so ruthless. Okay,
very
ruthless. అంటే మేము కూర్చొని దానికోసం కష్టపడి లైటింగ్ చేసాం, ఒక రోజు ప్రీ లైటింగ్ తీసుకున్నాం, ఫరక్ పడదు. వెళ్ళి చూడంగానే బ్రో లాగ్ బ్రో తీసే బ్రో మొత్తం అట్లా సీన్ ఎత్తేసినాడు. ఇంకా అంటే యూ యాక్సెప్ట్ ఇట్ అంతే. బట్ ఫర్ మీ at least at that moment I enjoyed lighting it, I enjoyed shooting it. Probably I might not going to see it on screen,
correct,
but still that experience of you, that is definitely there. Ante అందుకే ఎవర్ అంటే గుర్రం చేయాలి గారు అది చెప్తున్నా వద్దనుకున్నా కానీ అదే ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఇస్ కనెక్టెడ్.
Two possible titles. Second one is filmmaking is good.
So talking about few masters and all, so నాకు fascination చాలా రాజర్ డికిన్స్ అంటే ఆయన వర్క్ అంటే గాడ్ ఇస్ నెక్స్ట్ లెవెల్ అండ్ సచ్ అ లాంగ్ కెరియర్ అండ్ ఇప్పుడు కూడా ఎంత రివ్యూర్ చేస్తారు ఆయనని. సో if you could dissect Roger Deakins to like people who are just getting into films, so what is your relationship with him and మొత్తం అంతా?
Roger Deakins, bro, Deakins అదే చెప్తున్నా. Deakins kind of
ఫస్ట్ ఎప్పుడు తెలుసుకున్నారు? అక్కడ స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం యాక్చువల్లీ. This guy man అన్నట్టు you noticed him.
Deakins, probably Shawshank Redemption. Okay. And because see his style, just like how Mani Ratnam has a very ethereal feeling to his, because this 35mm lens that he is obsessed with. Okay. And in fact, I actually slowly started learning, like, you know, his perspective of why the 35mm actually works a lot. Because even in Darling also, 80% of the film, 80 to 90% of the film is shot only on 35mm lens. Okay. Because it has that feeling where it actually transcends the audience directly to the character, where you're not seeing ఇప్పుడు ఒక John Woo సినిమాలో, okay, you have this very long tele lens shots where you're seeing, you know, when he has his gun shot, we have a profile shot and all of those things.
Right.
That is very stylish in a way. Okay, but there's the emotional quotient of it is not less.
Correct.
Is very less. But the style quotient of it is more. Right. But his films are more of an emotional quotient rather than style quotient. But his style quotient is on a different level. Ippudu, what is that film where I forgot that name. Assassination of Jesse James. Okay, that opening sequence where there is this train which is coming in, and in that whole jungle, the way how that light, I've never imagined something like this. And the screen lo chusinapudu I was like, what the fuck anipinchindi, where when you have a light which is consistently moving, and you're seeing it in pitch black, and the way how that light keeps moving, you know, in different layers of shades, it is fascinating. I mean, I was fascinated by it. So that, see, and that is not stylized.
Correct.
There is realism in it.
Exactly.
But the way how he puts it in a very poetic way,
that is the word I was.
That is that effect that Roger Deakins has. I mean,
correct.
He's God. Okay. I mean, when he got this Oscar after 15th nomination, I was like,
yes,
finally we won. Yeah, 100%.
So coming back to your personal life and all, so ఇప్పుడు how do you feel as a filmmaker, as a DOP, and would you advise something ముందు ఏదైతే గ్రోయింగ్ ఏజ్ లో మీరు ఉన్నారో, if certain learnings ఇవ్వాలంటే, like what would you give అన్నట్టు?
Filmmaking
in terms of filmmaking,
whatever you have learned
to your younger self.
Yes.
Find your style. Okay, and then don't. Initially, I'll tell you something.
Right.
I was just reading this book called Show Your Work.
Okay.
So try to copy your masters. Okay. I'm not saying fake it till you make it.
Right.
What I'm trying to tell is, because when you accept someone as more than Roger Deakins, okay, there is this guy called Robert Richardson who's doing all of this Tarantino's films and
right. Kill Bill ki kuda aina.
Yeah. Okay. So I am obsessed with him.
Right.
More than Deakins. Okay.
Because
the way how he uses light is very, very unique. Right. So because he has this strong beams of bounces. Okay. And even there is a scene in Inglourious Bastards also where tavern lo kuchoni maatladutunnappudu kuda, so none of them are lit up with any light which is coming from the side. Okay. There is one very hot spot of light which is falling on the on the table, and that whole scene is just that bounce light which is just coming out from there. Okay, which is very unique, very stylized. Okay, he's nothing like Dickens.
Correct.
Okay, he's very stylized.
Right.
Okay, and that stylization is, see, this నేను కాలేజ్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు అంతా యూస్ టు కాపీ దట్ అలాట్. సో ఒక పాయింట్ తర్వాత నాకు ఐ గాట్ ఓవర్ ఇట్. ఐ నో లాంగర్ డూ దట్ బౌన్స్ అండ్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ దోస్ థింగ్స్ ఎనీమోర్, బట్ దట్ at least made me understand that what I should do and what I should not do. Okay. So you have to copy your masters in that sense, where because when you like something and when you are aspiring towards something, and you're trying to make it, especially when you're in a technical role.
Correct.
Okay. If you're a director, that's a different story.
Right.
But when you're in a technical role, you have to have the technical aspect of it. Okay. You have to get your fundamentals right. Okay.
Exactly.
You have to be technically very, very strong in whatever that you're doing, because once you master your techniques, no matter what people throw at you, you will still find a way to do it.
Correct.
Because you know how to do it. Okay. So that many people, I think, like, especially technical roles లో ఎట్లా అనుకుంటారంటే అది టెక్నిక్ ఏముందిరా సినిమాలో అంతే ఒక పాయింట్ తర్వాత ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ ఈజీ. ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ లైక్ దాట్. ఇఫ్ బికాస్ దట్స్ ఎ నెవర్ ఎండింగ్ థింగ్. సో అల్టిమేట్లీ దట్స్ ద థింగ్. ఓకే. అండ్ always chase knowledge.
Especially in the field of light.
Always. See, and if you think about it, what is your biggest goal? Okay, say if you ask me, say I have like a top set of 10 directors. Okay, so I want to do a film with all those guys. Okay, I have achieved all those 10. Then what will you do next? Does your goal
Once
and
you
aim
reach that peak of
whatever you think is peak? Okay, oka point tarvata what are you going to do next? Annappudu, see, the only thing which you will never run out of is the search of knowledge.
Correct.
Okay, so always consistently keep seeking, keep learning as much as you can, because once you start finding joy in learning, I mean, nothing can shake you, bro.
Correct.
Nothing.
Maybe that's why deacons or legends వాళ్ళు ఇంత లాంగ్ టైం కూడా సస్టైన్ అయ్యారు and they're still very relevant.
Very true, especially Maniratnam.
అవును.
Think about how many directors are still relevant after 40 years.
Very few. So
that constant search for knowledge, constant search for something that that fascinates you, kada. Thirst unnanta varaku, no matter what happens, because no matter if you have failures, no matter if you have a big hit or anything like that, still you will move on. Still you will keep moving on. Still you will find, there is so much more to do. Once you feel content with whatever that you are doing, a complacence feeling వచ్చేస్తే అదంతా బోర్ పెట్టేస్తుంది ఇంకా.
What else should I do?
Exactly. See, this is what I faced when I was in IT.
Okay.
ఒక 2 years తర్వాత నాకు ఒక పాయింట్ తర్వాత దీంట్లో ఏముంది. See, because I'm not saying that ఐటీలో ఏం లేదు అన్నట్టు కాదు, కానీ బట్ ఐ డిడ్ నాట్ ఫైండ్ ఎనీథింగ్.
సేమ్ అయిపోయింది.
చాలా రిడెండెంట్ అయిపోయింది ఒక పాయింట్ తర్వాత. సో వన్స్ యూ హిట్ దట్ రిడెండెన్సీ కదా, దెర్ ఇస్ సో మచ్ మోర్ దట్ యూ కెన్ లెర్న్ కదా.
కరెక్ట్.
ఓకే, సంథింగ్ if there is something that is fascinates you and you're passionate about it, and if you can also make money with it, why not?
Nothing like it.
Ante. So that is how I ended up into filmmaking. So you should constant search for knowledge, constant seeking. Adokati undali, aspect okati unte, no matter what happens, no matter what failure or success that you face, you will still be king.
ముందు ఇతను మెన్షన్ చేసిండు అబౌట్ దిస్ ఐఎస్సి అండ్ ఏఎస్సి థింగ్. ఇది చాలా మంది డిఓపీస్ పెడతారు పక్కన. సో వాట్ ఈస్ దిస్ అన్నట్టు?
ఐఎస్సి ఇస్ బేసిక్లీ ఇండియన్ సొసైటీ ఆఫ్ సినిమాటోగ్రఫీ. So it's like
invite only sort of.
Yeah, obviously it's invite only.
Okay.
So ASC is American Society of Cinematographers, where you achieve a certain level of excellence, and you are invited to that club, and you are given a title along with it. So atla, that is what ISC and ASC is, and they also have because since they're an organization, they also have lot of workshops and they, because any company, ipudu Ari or any big company who are making their products, they're making it for whom? For DOPs, right?
Correct.
So they end up doing a lot of workshops and all of those things, and anything, any VFX work and any new technologies that come out. So they organize a lot of those things. Nowadays they're doing a lot of these podcasts kuda chestunaru. So yeah, I mean it's a club. It's a very prestigious club.
Like dream for
dream for any DOP.
So ఈ జర్నీ ఏదైతే ఉండిందో, so do you see yourself doing something else? Would you branch out into something else also? Would you direct a film in the future?
I'm open for it. Why not? I've thought about it a lot of times, but see, again, I don't want to just branch out very easily. Unwanted ga If there is definitely a great script that I have in hand, and if there is a good producer in hand, and if there is things are just working out,
Correct.
I'm 100% to it. But would I would I
చేయడానికి-
want to skip cinematography and do only that? No. I love doing
What you're doing.
cinematography. I love
And that
doing
shows actually, while you speak also, it comes with that love. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Sorry. And my future projects ఏమున్నాయి, and what else are you like working towards now?
Right, as of now, I'm doing another web series.
Okay.
So that is still going on. Other than that, there are also a couple of projects that I'm talking towards. So I haven't signed it yet, but I will let you know once I
అండ్
start working.
మీరు బ్రీఫ్లీ యాక్షన్ గురించి మాట్లాడారు అండ్ లైటింగ్ ఇప్పుడు మాట్లాడారు. సో గాంధీవదారిలో కూడా మీరు వర్క్ చేశారు కదా.
Yeah.
సో హౌ డస్ ఇట్ వర్క్ విత్ యాక్షన్? సో దానికి దీనికి హౌ డు యూ లైట్ ఇట్, హౌ డు యూ ఫ్రేమ్ ఇట్? అండ్
See, again, depends on the scene.
Okay.
Depends on the space that you're lighting.
రైట్.
అండ్ ఇప్పుడు యాక్షన్ సీక్వెన్సెస్ ఎట్లా అంటే ఒకప్పుడు లైట్స్ ఫ్రేమ్లో ఉండడం అవంతా వాజ్ అన్ ఇష్యూ, బట్ నవ్ డేస్ దట్ ఈస్ నాట్ అన్ ఇష్యూ బికాస్ యూ కెన్ రిమూవ్ ఇట్ ఇన్ VFX ఎనీ టైమ్.
Right.
Okay, but the kind of lighting that you're doing depends on the realism or the kind of treatment that you're working towards.
రైట్. రైట్.
Right. So if you are actually working on a space where when it is a night exterior and when you're shooting in a space where there is only realistic lights, ఎట్లా అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఒక మధ్యలో ఒక సెంటర్ బీమ్ ఒకటి ఉంది, దెర్ ఇస్ లైక్ ఇప్పుడు సెంటర్లో ఈ చౌరస్తాలంతా ఒక పెద్ద లైట్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా. సో ఇప్పుడు అట్లాంటి ఒక లైట్ సోర్సెస్ ఉంది అన్నట్టు, ఇఫ్ యూర్ జాగ్రఫికలీ ఎస్టాబ్లిషింగ్ సంథింగ్ లైక్ దట్, దెన్ యూ ట్రై టు augment and replicate those kind of lights.
ఓకే.
Right, and you try to play around with that that logic. But if you're again if you're in ఒక జంగిల్ లాంటి ఒక స్పేస్ లో ఉన్నాం, వేర్ moonlight itself is like a
Right.
like
Source.
imagination.
కష్టం.
Moonlight is pretty much an imagination.
అవును.
So అంటే the kind of moonlight that we use.
రైట్. దాన్ని రెఫరెన్స్ చూసుకొని put it something.
Yeah. So then the way how you start lighting it is again very different.
Correct.
Where the moonlight takes up majority of your frame. And you jungle lo, if someone has a torch light and you try to replicate the torch light into a skin lens, so those kind of things that you ante oka motif unte feels little realistic. ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఫ్రేమ్ లో సే ఇప్పుడు సే యూ హ్యావ్ అ లైట్ సోర్స్ హియర్ విచ్ ఇస్ ఫాలోయింగ్ ఆన్ మీ. సో దెన్ ఇప్పుడు ఇంకొక ఒక నైట్ ల్యాంప్ అట్లాంటి ఒకటి పెట్టేసి, ఇఫ్ దిస్ నైట్ ల్యాంప్ ఇస్ టెక్నికలీ నాట్ వెరీ సఫిషియంట్ ఫర్ మీ ఫర్ ద కెమెరా టు లైట్ అప్ ద స్కిన్ టోన్. సో యూ బేసిక్లీ ట్రై టు ఆగ్మెంట్ ఇట్ విత్ అన్ అదర్ లైట్ సోర్స్. సో దోస్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ఆగ్మెంటేషన్ will work. ఇప్పుడు అట్లాంటి ఒక లైటే లేదు, బట్ ఐ జస్ట్ హ్యావ్ లైక్ another solid light source which is just falling on me, but the sun is actually in the other side. Annappudu there is a sense of disconnection that you get. See, if that is the approach, if that is the idea that you are working towards, then do it faithfully.
Correct.
Okay, that's a different story.
Correct.
But don't do this, don't do that, half and half. So try to maintain that consistency, maintain cheyadaniki. That is what everyone tries to do. So lighting up for action sequences are pretty much like that.
Okay.
So danni ekkuva see I have very simplistic way of trying to look at things. Then danni ekku complicate chesko.
Right.
Okay, try to understand the logic of where you're shooting, how the light is going to pretty much look, and once you basically crack that, then you whatever augmentation that you're going to do, you will have a logic towards what you're doing. ఇప్పుడు అది లేదు అన్నప్పుడే దెన్ యూ స్టార్ట్ కన్ఫ్యూజింగ్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్, లైక్ అరే ఆ సీన్ ఆ లైట్లో ఆ షార్ట్లో ఇక్కడ పెట్టినాం, ఈ షార్ట్లో ఇక్కడ పెట్టాల్సింది, ఇవంతా కమ్స్ అవుట్ లైక్ దట్.
సో టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ తమిళ్,
అది రైట్.
సో సిన్స్ హౌ లాంగ్ హ్యావ్ యూ బీన్ ఇన్ హైదరాబాద్?
From my birth.
Okay.
Growing up anta.
So the thing is, identity crisis is real, right?
I don't think so. Emo bro, I mean I didn't face it ఎందుకంటే right from my childhood I always considered myself as a Hyderabadi.
So that is the identity which people take.
Yeah.
Yes, that is true.
బట్ నో వన్ ఆల్సో ఇప్పుడు నేను మాట్లాడుతున్నప్పుడు టు ఫీల్ లైక్ తమిళ్ గై
ఇట్లా హైదరాబాద్
అది కూడా ఎట్లా అంటే యా మై మామ్ సైడ్ వాళ్ళు దే లైక్ తెలుగు, డాడ్ సైడ్ దే తమిళ్.
ఓకే.
సో అట్లా దెన్ డాడ్ సెటిల్డ్ హియర్ ఇన్ 1980s, 81లో ఇప్పుడు వచ్చారు. సో ఫ్రమ్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ 40-45 years more than most of the Hyderabadi people. I'm actually like Hyderabad.
The one thing I've observed is పాండిచేరి అట్లా ఇట్లా వెళ్ళినప్పుడు అలా మనం ఎట్లా అంటే ఫుల్ పంచ పెట్టుకొని అట్లా పోయేసి వన్ థింగ్ ఇస్ when you try, when you put very little effort into talking in the language and everything, people apna lete hain. So that is one thing I really love about
Yeah, that's true.
That is even more amplified in Hyderabad, I think. Like university
Hyderabad,
also, when you've seen people coming from all across, Hindi ante Hindi maatladestaru. ఒక సెన్స్ ఆఫ్ బిలాంగింగ్ అందరికీ ఇస్తుంది.
But actually that's also a very good thing that if you're multilingual in that sense, it helps you a lot, especially even for Darling also. The director is Tamil. So, since I'm like, I also know Tamil and I'm also from Hyderabad. So initially he was like very particular that bro, it shouldn't feel anything like a Tamil film. So it has to feel like very organically like a Hyderabadi film. So initially when we during the pre-production phase, so I'm from Malkajgiri. So
okay. So
later I just like a couple of years ago I shifted here to this side of the city. So then I took him to all this Sainik Puri.
That is my area. Like I've grown up in Sainik Puri area.
Yeah. So I used to take him to all of those places. Manchi OG places kelli manchiga biryani tini. Hyderabad ante eno telusko bro ani చెప్తాము. చందనగిరి ఏదో తిరిగినాం.
Full Hyderabad experience.
Full first almost a week ఓన్లీ లొకేషన్ ట్రెక్కి కన్నా చేసే ముందు జస్ట్ ఫర్ హిమ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ ఈ నారాయణగూడ తర్వాత విద్యానగర్ ఏరియా అంతా తిరిగి ఆయనకి సో బేసిక్గా ఇది హైదరాబాద్ బికాస్ వాట్ ఎవర్ దట్ యూర్ సీయింగ్ ఎస్ హైదరాబాద్ ఈజ్ వెరీ లైక్ అ న్యూ సిటీ కదా బట్ culture wise it's again very cosmopolitan in that
but if you feel good different, it is like very laid back.
Very true.
Okay, I can't explain it, man. Like,
yeah, very much. I also still I kind of miss Malkajgiri.
అంటే మధ్య మధ్య కంటోన్మెంట్ ఏరియాస్ వస్తుంటాయి, గ్రీనరీ ఉంటుంది.
నేను ఇంకా యూసీ పక్కనే ఉంటుండే.
ఓకే.
సో ఫర్ మీ ఎనీ టైమ్ ఇప్పుడు ఫ్రెండ్స్ తోటి డ్రైవ్కి వెళ్ళాలంటే కూడా బికాస్ ఏఓసీ ఈజ్ అ హ్యూజ్ ఏరియా కదా. సో ఈవెన్ డ్యూరింగ్ మై డేటింగ్ ఫేజ్ ఆల్సో విత్ మై వైఫ్ we used to go to Sameer.K lake very regularly. సో అట్లా
నాకు షామీర్పేట లేక్ చాలా మంచి
అంటే వెరీ గుడ్ డ్రైవ్. ఆ డ్రైవ్ కూడా మొత్తం ఆర్మీ ఏరియా అంతా చాలా ప్లెజెంట్గా ఉంటుంది. అక్కడ ఈవెన్ ఆ టెంపుల్స్ అవంతా కూడా వేర్ లైక్ సర్వధర్మ స్థాల్ అని చెప్పేసి అట్లా ఆల్ రిలీజన్స్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ విల్ బి దేర్. సో సారీ వెరీ ప్లెజెంట్ ప్లేస్.
సో అక్కడ మేము we were setting up the office and also అలా
అంతే. ఇంకా మై ఫ్రెండ్స్ ఆల్సో లైక్ ఎవ్రీవన్ ఇస్ ఫ్రమ్ దట్ ఏరియా కాబట్టి. ఇంకా మల్కాజ్గిరిలో ఇంకోటి ఏంటంటే వీ హ్యాడ్ లైక్ రాజ్పుత్ ఫ్రెండ్స్, ముస్లిం ఫ్రెండ్స్ అండ్ క్రిస్టియన్ ఫ్రెండ్స్ అండ్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ దోస్ థింగ్స్. ఇంకా ఆ ఏరియా వైబే వేరు. ఈవెన్ లంచ్ టైమ్ లో కూర్చుంటున్నప్పుడు గ్రేట్ ప్లేస్ టు గ్రో, ఎస్పెషలీ 100% మిడిల్ క్లాస్ కి దట్స్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద బెస్ట్ ప్లేసెస్ టు గ్రో అడిగితే.
అండ్ అక్కడ నుంచి మళ్ళీ పారడైజ్ కానీ ఏదైనా ఆర్టీసీ క్రాస్ లైక్
వెరీ యాక్సెసిబుల్ ప్లేస్ కూడా. బట్ ప్లస్ ఇంకోటి అక్కడ చాలా లేట్ బ్యాక్,
చాలా లేట్ బ్యాక్ అసలు,
చాలా లేట్ బ్యాక్, స్లో లైఫ్ లా ఫీలింగ్ వచ్చేస్తుంది. If you are not in your 30s where you have to like earn a living and all of those things,
correct,
only just have live like a slow life ante Malkajgiri is a great place to be.
Secunderabad is a vibe.
Secunderabad is a vibe. That's what I used to tell my wife also. If only we don't, if I don't need to work in this side of the city,
correct,
and she also doesn't need to come to financial district for IT and all of those things. యాప్రల్ లాంటి ఒక మంచి ప్లేస్లో ఒక మంచి విల్లా తీసుకొని,
గుడ్ గేటెడ్ కమ్యూనిటీస్ ఆల్సో,
గ్రేట్ గేటెడ్ కమ్యూనిటీస్, గ్రేట్ గేటెడ్ కమ్యూనిటీస్.
సో దట్ ఈస్ ద ప్లాన్ లేటర్.
That area also changed. Like ముందు సినీ ప్లానెట్ ఉంది కదా అక్కడికి వెళ్ళండి. I used to see certain patches of farms also. Now it is all ఇప్పుడు malls వచ్చేసి.
ఎక్కడ ఉంది farms అక్కడ?
Changed like completely. Like
Completely.
10 years 15 years అసలు. ఆ ఏరియా మళ్ళీ ఏసరావు నగర్ side it is all changed.
Exactly. Even like మల్కాజ్గిరి టు మౌలాలి వెళ్ళే దారిలో కూడా there used to be lot of these farmlands and all.
అవును.
ఇప్పుడు ఎక్కడ ఉంది farmlands లేదు ఏం లేదు.
అంతా జంగల్ అండ్ కార్పొరేట్ జంగల్, కాంక్రీట్ జంగల్ అంతా. So coming back to films again.
Yeah.
So how was your experience? మీ projects if we can like jump from ఇప్పుడు డార్లింగ్ గురించి చాలా మాట్లాడారు, దానికంటే ముందు ఫేస్ గురించి మాట్లాడదాం. Like before ఏమంటారు you made it completely అన్నప్పుడు like what were you doing? How were you navigating through the maze?
So after film school, so a film school advantage unko advantage. So we had a workshop with PS Vinod sir. Okay. So ఒక 1 week workshop undi. So he came to our college for a week and he did like scene replications laga. He took up multiple scenes and like తీసుకొని he lit up spaces and he taught us like he dissected how short divisions and other things and all go. So that was one very good experience that I had. Film school the advantages untai where you end up meeting a lot of these like-minded people and also nice big technicians also, they come for workshops and all. So you learn a lot of things from them. So atla and they can like that workshop was very nice. Then దాని తర్వాత కాలేజ్ లో అప్పుడు చేసిన షార్ట్ ఫిల్మ్స్ అన్ని కలిపి ఒక స్టోరీ లోడ్ కట్ చేసి then I showed it to him on the last day. Then he was like, he really liked it and he was like, okay, once you're done with college give me a call అని చెప్పేసి he gave me his number and left. So then after college so then I called him once. So by that time I also one more semester was done. I also did like yadasamano short film anto chesinamu. So avanta put together I made another show reel. Then I took he asked me to come to Chennai. So Chennai ki వెళ్ళి and kalsanu. Kalsinappudu then he saw the other show reel also. He really liked it and he asked me like technical aspects of it adigaru. And adigin tarvata then he was like, okay Naresh, why do you want to assist? He's like, sir, I want to learn all of those things. And he was like, no, you don't assist. Like you have a style of doing things. Not many people get it. So you can do it. And that was the time he was doing about to start Vikram Vedha. So then I was like, because a couple of my classmates joined him. So then I was like no, am I not competitive enough? Is that why he's not taking me? And I asked him directly, so do you think I'm not competitive enough? Is the reason why you're rejecting me? And he's like, no, I'm not rejecting you. That is not what I'm trying to say. He said that you have a style of doing it. You have to explore things on your own. If only I had this opportunity where because he told me that he comes from obviously film era and all of those things, and he did not want to assist, but that's the only way how he could get into filmmaking.
Correct.
Right. So after film school he ended up doing that. So he said like why don't you try on your own, give it some 6 months. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, then again you can come back to me anytime as well. So I was like, I kind of felt dejected, but at the same time I was like, okay, I mean there may be some sense in why he is saying it.
Correct.
So immediately after that, within another 2 months, then we started off another project called Vekkadiki. So that was on the initial web series of Telugu.
Okay.
We started off in 2017.
Right.
But so we ended up releasing in 2019 Jan or something like that. So 2 seasons of it we did. So after I did that first thing, I cut a show reel and sent it to him. So he was like, very happy for you. Like, okay sir, thank you so much.
Amazing.
So that's how I never ended up assisting anyone. But though sometimes I feel at least ఒక్క సినిమా చేసి ఉండాలి. Then I actually ఆయన అడిగినా కూడా ఒకసారి, సో సార్ ఎందుకు నీకు పెద్ద సినిమా చేయాలని ఎందుకు అనుకుంటున్నావు అంటే, కాదు సార్ స్కేల్ పెద్దది కదా అంటే the way how you light up. See, the logic behind it is still the same. Okay, for a smaller set you have a smaller set of lights and smaller space to light up. For a bigger set you have a bigger set, bigger budget, all of those things, but the logic behind it is still the same.
Scale చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్ళాలి.
Yeah, and just the scale keeps going bigger and bigger. Once you crack that logic, then everything will just fall into place. That's why I was telling about the technical aspect of it. Correct. Once you have that technical expertise, in whatever that you're doing. దాని తర్వాత ఇంకా ఫన్ ఇంకా ఈజీ బ్రో. ఆ లాజిక్ దట్ లాజిక్ ఇస్ వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఐ టోటలీ అగ్రీ విత్ వాట్ ఎవర్ దట్ హీ సెడ్. That's how I ended up not assisting anyone and started doing my own projects.
Like trying to groom another set of the next.
He could have, see, for him, I could have just been another guy in his team. It is not at all a big deal for him, right? So, and there is no necessity that he has to like sit and talk to me about all of those things. Right. But still, that shows his character.
The guidance, definitely.
You know, what a great personality. He's tall and the way how he is. Legit. It's not doubt.
On that note, probably Meer's opinion, how you look up, a lot of people might actually resonate with you actually, right? Because చాలా మందికి ఈ చిన్న nitty-gritties అనేవి చాలా hope ఇస్తుంది, because చాలా మంది are faced with not making it but there. Correct. So hold on చేయాలంటే కష్టం అది. So ఈ conversation, and especially Sameer, I mean even my team was telling me ఇట్లా ఏదైనా క్యాంటీన్ స్టోర్ దగ్గర ఇట్లా కూర్చొని ఇట్లా చెప్పండి అదే చాలా మర్చిపోయి కూడా చెప్పడం ఇంకా. But amazing conversation, like I really enjoyed it. I hope you also enjoyed it.
I definitely enjoyed it. Anytime talking about films, I enjoy it. Especially with like-minded people.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
It was crazy.
Nice meeting you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
This is the longest conversation we've had.
Yeah, actually. Maximum it's 1.5 hours. Yeah, cut. దాని తర్వాత
120 minutes.
Yeah, 1.5 hours.
Oh, it almost been 2 hours.
నాకు అర్థం కాలేదు సార్, లైక్ నేను ఇట్లా బ్రేక్ ఇచ్చినప్పుడు how did